Hello everyone, I am Dr. Parnita Sarma, HOD, Department of Philosophy. Today my discussion topic is importance of religion. Actually, I am trying to focus why religion is important in our life. Religion is an intrinsic element of human nature. Religion has always been a dominant tendency in the human history, not only in the East but also in the West. The genesis of religion is man. So long as he is attached to the truest vision of religion, the greater is the worth of his life. Religion is the most prominent feature which has found its expression in human art, literature, and his various activities more in the ancient past than in the modern times. Hence, for an understanding, one has to study the architecture of temples, idols, hymns, songs, religious poetry of the Jenda Vesta, Rig Veda, the Bible, the Quran, Adi Grantha, and so on. Some of the finest poetry in the world has been dedicated to religion. The Ramayana, Mahabharata, Dante's Divine Comedy, Milton's Paradise Lost, and Paradise Regained are some of the most glorious examples of religious poetry. Here, hence, in order to study man, one has to take religion seriously. Man has given a very high status in almost all the religions for Buddhism and Jainism. Man becomes the highest being because they do not believe in God. Man's real great nature is temporarily hidden due to ignorance. He becomes infinite and free all limitations when he realizes his real nature. Judaism and Christianity made the greatest of all creatures in their own ways. According to them, God made man in his own image, and man has made to establish the complete reign of good on earth by eradicating evil. Zoroastrianism also gives the same status to man. According to it, in the constant strife between the forces of good and evil on earth, man is to play the role of the fellow partner of Ahuja Mazda so that he is able to dislodge the forces to evil completely and establish the reign of perfect good on earth. From the foregoing discussions, we find that Zoroastrianism seems to give the greatest dignity to man. According to Zoroastrianism, man is born completely pure and spotless with perfect freedom of will. Thus, for every act of him, man himself is fully responsible. This is not the case in the context of other religions. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, man comes to earth with certain limitations, and therefore neither he can be taken as completely free nor he can assume the full responsibility for his work. In case of Islam, man seems to have been denied freedom of will to some extent. Of course, certain line of Qurans seems to make some room for man's freedom. But overall, don't come out to be deterministic. Judaism and Christianity also grant freedom to man in their own ways. And it can be said that every religion, including Islam, grants some amount of freedom to man in their own ways. If freedom does not mean anything, man cannot be held responsible for his good or bad destiny. Religion comes out of life and can never be divorced from it. The root meaning is that which binds man together and also binds the desire and various processes of each individuality. Though there are many forms of religion, they all agree on one factor, that is, all of them are occupied with the task of living adjustment to the various demands of life and society. Successful adjustment requires an understanding of the world in which individual lives. He lives in a physical and social environment, and social environment consists of his fellow men with their histories and prophecies that have evolved as a result of competitive and cooperative enterprise of numerous generations. The scientific discoveries which have penetrated all parts of the earth are making the world one, though the different civilizations live by that cherish their distinctive principles of life. If the world is to be united on a religious basis, it will not unite on the basis of this or that religion, but by a cooperative among the different religions of the world. All religions require us to look upon life as an opportunity for self-realization and manastu kamaya. When mankind awakes the truth, universal brotherhood will follow. One whose life is rooted in the experience of the Supreme spontaneously develops love for all creations. He will be free from hatred for any man. He will boldly walk for a society in which man can be free and fearless, a subject, not an object. He will oppose terror and cruelty. His way gives voice to those who have no voice. The purpose of religion is to help us to grow from this world of intellect, this world of divided consciousness with its discords and dualities, to a life of harmony, of freedom of love. Religion is spiritually change and inward transformation. It is a transition from darkness to light, from an unregenerate to a regenerate condition. It is an awakening, a rebornness. Religion voices man's protest against the subnormal and his aspiration for the supernormal. It develops character and thus cures degeneration. Religion has its roots in man's tendency to look upwards. Hence, if man has to progress, religion must live. It maintains the social momentum towards progress. Religion has been rarely found in its pure form. Everywhere it was linked with social and cultural ideals. Religion has been transformed with the transformation of social ideals. It is an index of man's aspiration and guide towards the future. It is a power which may be utilized both for good and evil. The more it approaches spirituality, the more sharp its true purpose. Since spirituality is fulfillment and culmination, community rises higher in culture through religion. Religion evolves correlation with the social evolution, the evolution of thought, culture, and spirituality. In this case, we should not overlook the individual aspect of religion, because religion is social only through individual. Religion is social in the sense that individual is social. The social aspect of religion is only an outer and secondary, though necessary form. All religion is primarily personal and individual. A diminution or subordination of this personal aspect by the socio-religious system of sources, priesthoods, rituals, and ceremonies has often crushed the spiritual elements in religion. Spirituality is the ideal of religion. This spirituality is not the negation of life. Religion has nothing to do with social development if its aim is life negating. Religion should satisfy the whole being of the man. It should perfect his physical, vital, and mental being. The spirituality is the essence and criterion of religion. The success of religion as a method of social development depends on the spiritual element in it. Religion and serviceable only so far as they are spiritual. When the spirituality is absent, religion is mere activity of man, powerful yet never a principle of guidance in his life. Spirituality is the very opposite of limitations, fixation, systematization. It is fulfilled by freedom, which means the power to expand and grow towards perfection by the law of one's own nature. A religion founded on spirituality will give freedom and perfection to philosophy, science, art, social and political activities and illumine them for a many-sided finding of their greatest, highest and deepest potentialities. Sociologists regard religion as a social activity which takes society as a reality. Durkheim as such regard God figure as a social truth and necessary for holding the society together as a moral community. The basis of religion should not be negative feelings such as feelings of fear, want, guilt and hatred, but the positive fullness of life, joy and freedom. The values of religion have deepened with the deepening of social values. From the past tradition, it is clear that man believed in religion a priori. But the present age is an age of science and technology. Freud, Russell, and Marx, etc., denounced religion. Freud not only rejects religion as such unmistakable terms, but Professor Lupper doesn't denounce the value of religion in human life. In contrast to Freud's view, he says, religion and science would walk hand in hand for the production of better and happier and diviner man. This is the view widely popular at present in spite of some agonistic and some materialistic skeptics. Hence, religion cannot be divorced from human life as it is instinctive. It can only change its form. Moreover, religion and science are not antagonistic to each other. Science and religion had a common origin both in India and the West. We can neither go back to scientific civilization nor can we drop religion. The greatest thinker in the East and West have felt the need for both science and spiritual life. Science will triumph over ignorance and superstition, and religion over selfishness and fear, and nations will come together to build a greater future for humanity. The brotherhood of man, which has the vision of prophets since the beginning of time, will be established. The denouncement of religion by Freud, Marx and others is not entirely useless. Thus, those anti-religious trends also have a certain truth behind them, because religion and their exponents have everywhere been too often a force retardation, oppression and ignorance. Such as cults and creeds have supported superstitions, aberrations, violence and crimes and exploited them for their own benefit. It is held that religion is a time-bound phenomenon of man with the deepening of the scientific spirit in man. It is bound to disappear. But these need not be a true view of religion, even of modern man. Marxism, Freudianism and Jewish type of humanism have very systematically tried to destroy the very foundation of traditional religion, but they have themselves assumed the form of some sort of religion. For example, communism in Russia and the Eastern Europe reflects preaching of the Christian gospel. Even Freudianism teaches a religion of human brotherhood free from psychic complexes and dedicated to elevation of human suffering. John Dewey's teaching of humanism supporting American type of democracy is itself a form of religion. He too regards his naturalism as the implicit fate of all mankind. It is also a form of militant realism. Thus, religion cannot be banished from human beings. Card, Goldstein, Andros, Angel, Abraham, Maslow, Prescott, Lecky, Carl Rogers, and many others came to the conclusion that personality tends to become one unified whole under a strong drive in its man to become an ideal self, that is, an ideal self comes to be projected into a deity by worshipping which its man gets psychological satisfaction of his reaching and realizing his perfect self. This religion is as natural as breathing, thinking, and becoming. From the foregoing discussions, we find here that any specific form of religion is certainly culture bound, but religion in general is natural in man and is not likely to. Thank you so much. I want to conclude my topic here.